I've been watching Shakur fight for a minute, bro. And here's the thing. People always say, and I'm watching the Shakur fight right now, but I just got on the still because, not trying to get copyrighted and what have you, right? But when it comes to Shakur's style, I just watched the Artem fight. You know what I mean? I'm always watching fights. And the thing about it is this. The more that Shakur has fought, right, and moved up and become better at the sport, the less people engage with him. And I think that the criticism that he does receive is unjustified. This is just because he has a fight coming up against a guy who's aggressive, and it may result in a stoppage because of how aggressive the guy is going to be. A Shakur fight only gets as bad as you make it. Now you're watching the Yoshino fight. You see the Yoshino fight on my screen. A lot of people say, "Oh, who's Yoshino? Who's Yoshino?" Understand something about the Japanese world of boxing. A lot of these Japanese fighters, first of all, although they haven't come to the United States either very much or at all, they're they're very nasty. They have a very good style. They're very dangerous. They throw a lot of punches. They have a lot of heart, and they are willing to work with you. They're not really scared of anything or anybody. That's just part of Japanese culture throughout history. That's always how it's been. But the thing about it is, with Yoshino, Jamel Herring, Oscar Valdez, you know what I mean? The fights are only as bad as you make them. If you rush Shakur, if you try to sock him out, he's probably gonna stop you. Look at everybody who fought Shakur Stevenson, where they tried to rush him and they tried to throw a lot of punches. They were getting countered into oblivion, body shots. People were getting stopped. But the more that people started to learn about Shakur, the less that the less they were engaging with him. And then you get these fights where he's not gonna do more than he needs to win. Now, if you rush him, in the theory, the logic is sound, because if you look at all the fights that he stopped people in, all right, they came to, and not only did they come to work, but they were trying so hard to land that they were getting picked apart. It was death by 1,000 cuts, right? Now, Oscar Valdez didn't get stopped, but he got pieced. He got pieced the fuck up. And I'm tired of people that are just like, oh, Shakur, he can't do anything to anybody. And that's not true, because it only gets as bad as you make it. It's kind of simple. And you could tell that he's been working with Bud and you know what I mean? Because yes, Bud, same thing for him. It only gets as bad as you make it. But when he moved up to the reason why he had a lot of he stopped everybody at 147, I believe, is because when he moved up in weight, everybody thought because they were bigger than him, oh, we were just finna come and punch on this dude. He's smaller, blah, blah, blah. And they were getting knocked out. They were getting knocked out bad. Now, he did get caught by Mean Machine. You know what I mean? He got caught by Gamboa when he was at 135. When he was at 140, honestly, his undisputed run was pretty easy because the people who did have the belts, 140 has always been one of those kind of stale divisions where, like, people who are in 140 don't really want to smoke at 147. They don't really want to cut to 135. It just kind of 140 has kind of always been that way. This is probably some of the most dangerous 140 has been, and it's really not even as dangerous. It's not that dangerous right now. But the thing about it is, when people rush Shakur because they think, okay, I'm gonna just throw as many punches as I can and sock him out, and they're getting socked with all types of counter punches that surprise him, shock him, maybe drop him, knock him down, body shots. Shakur will go in there and put hands on you if need be. Now, if you make it an easy night, you're just gonna take a 12-0 loss, and he's just finna coast to an easy victory. Edwin, they talk about the Edwin fight. Edwin still, even though he did kind of engage, he still didn't want to engage, because you know what time it is. If you engage with Shakur like that, he's finna be socking you out, bro. I don't know what to tell. Like, it's clear as day that that's the case. And people, they tried to paint this narrative when he was on his way out of Top Rank, like Tim Bradley was like, oh, yeah, I got my coffee. But then on Champside's interview with him, Tim Bradley admitted the reason why he doesn't even like Shakur is because he was saying, oh, well, when somebody talks bad about you, you think I'm about to talk nice about him? It was a bias. It wasn't even real. He don't even really think Shakur. He doesn't think lowly of Shakur as a fighter. And he doesn't think that Shakur is pillow fisted and all these things. People understand something. If these people, right, these guys, a lot of these boxer puncher guys that people, especially, well, mainly the black fighters, people like to say, oh, they run, they do this, they do. If they were like that, they will be getting brushed, swarmed and stuff like that all over. But that's not the case. They're in there busting shit up. And when they sock people out, you see the fighters come out of the fights, they're all lumped up on one eye. You know what I mean? They're all black and purple. They're getting busted up. You know what I mean? Nose is bleeding. They're getting dribbled on. And when they do sleep somebody, they say, "Oh well, who is he?" The difference is not about the difference is the style. Who is fighting who? Jamel Herring tried to box Shakur Stevenson and let his hands go. He got destroyed for that and punished. Got stopped. Yoshino tried to let his hands go and catch Shakur at on weird angles by letting go flurries and mixing the air. Shakur stopped him. He stopped him. Oscar Valdez, he was trying to let them double right hands go and left hook go and stuff. Shakur dropped him, outboxed him, countered him, and discouraged him from continuing to come forward right in front of Canelo Alvarez. And honestly, the way that fight looked is exactly how I feel as though the Bud and Canelo fight would look. Where you got a Canelo who's like, I'm bigger than this guy, so I'm going to try to just punch hard. And then when he's getting punched with shit he didn't expect, same thing with the Madrimov fight. The Madrimov fight, it reminds me a lot of how the Artem fight was, because you got a guy who's showing you a lot of looks, does want to engage, but he just doesn't want it to look like how it's always looked when you throw too many punches, because the amount of punches you throw, double what you finna receive from these guys. But the narratives that are being pushed, like, look, these guys not these guys, because Bud went on the streak, but again, that's because he moved up in weight, and these big 147 pounders thought. Remember when Errol Spence and him met up in backstage? I forgot whose fight it was at, but they were like, hey, Errol Spence was like, for the dick to that body, bro. You too small. You too small. I guarantee you. Look, Sean Porter tried to get physical. They didn't expect him to be, but the dude benched. What he bench? Like 350 pounds, deadlifting over 400 pounds. Like, bro, these guys are strong. It doesn't matter that they're small. They just discipline in making their weight. But them boys over there, you got the Buds, the Shakurs. I think that if Kid Austin comes and tries to let his hands go, stoppage. It's going to be disgusting, because history shows, right, with Shakur Stevenson, if you let your hands go against Shakur Stevenson, you're going to get cooked. All the way back to the Caraballos of the world. Joey Gonzalez tried to get aggressive in boxing, was getting socked out. Toka Khan Cleary was getting socked out from the beginning all the way to now. People didn't understand Shakur yet, but then you got like Robson Conceição, who wasn't really throwing punches, but just trying to like smother and throw weird shit from far away, still was getting countered on. Like, he was getting hit with some weird shit. You know what I mean? He was throwing weird shit and was still getting socked out by Shakur Stevenson. He was still getting punched on. And Shakur was getting so mad, walking him down and still countering him. But if you don't throw nothing, if Shakur walking you down, and he's literally walking Artem down, and Artem is circling out. He don't want to engage in one spot, because he knows if I let my hands go here, it from the very beginning of the fight, when he tried to let his hands go, caught that first couple two pieces, then he started to circle out. He ate some body shots. He started to circle out because he was not fucking with it. He was getting punched with some sharp counters. That's the reality of the situation. So with this Kid Austin fight, because it's February 22nd, so it's coming up soon. I know we got Benavidez coming around the corner, but Shakur, his fights only get as bad as the other person makes them. If you don't want to engage, Shakur is going to sit there. He's going to win the fight, and you basically are just going to have to give up. You're just going to have to give up. You know what I mean? If you decide to try to let your hands go, you're going to get fucked up. And if you have a brain and you just watch these fights, it's evident that that's the case. So when it comes to the Shakur Stevenson criticism, I think it's unfair. A lot of it, I think, is manufactured. And I think that a lot of the times people would rather shit on black people than cover boxing correctly. They cover boxing based on the actual boxing, what you're seeing, what you're watching, what you're seeing. That's how I feel, bro. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But honestly, I think that a lot of these things are personal, and I don't think it makes a lick of sense, because you can't tell me that these guys don't have any respect, any power. What have they done? But at the same breath, everyone they fighting don't want to engage, backing up, because, you know what I mean? And Shakur fought a dude with one arm, confirmed. And the guy still wasn't trying to engage and sock him out, because at the end of the day, he still had respect for his counterpunching prowess. The fact that if he's going to throw a lot, is going to make the back end of the fight even more difficult. And Shakur won a fight with one arm, bro. I don't even know what more you want. What more do you want? I don't know, bro. But again, let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave a like, subscribe, all that. I'm gone.